My name is Avril Schatz, and I'm 74 and a half years young.
I'm Ariel.
I'm Leslie.
And I'm Avril.
Well, how has your health been over the years?
Up until recently, it's been pretty good. Yes, well, I have fibromyalgia, I have neuropathy in my feet, and recently I broke my foot. The first break that I've ever had in my entire life.
You have grandchildren.
Yes,
How many?
2.
And how old are they?
My oldest granddaughter is 25, and my grandson is 18.
And then how often do they visit?
Well, my granddaughter lives in South Africa, so that's really difficult.
Yeah.
My grandson in LA I see pretty often because it's close by and he drives.
What art activities do you participate in now?
I still work. I sell clothes and accessories at a market in Encinitas and at another market in Oceanside. And I do that Thursdays, Saturdays and Sundays. So I'm pretty active. Plus I have to go downtown LA or go to merchandise shows and buy. And so, yeah, I'm pretty active.
What would you consider to be the greatest time of your life?
I would say the years of my 40s and 50s. But then my son died in a car accident, my oldest son. And so it took me a long time to recuperate from that, or recover from that, if I ever will recover. And it sort of like shaded everything in my life.
I'm Julia.
And I'm Ravi.
And I'm Avril.
What would you consider to be the worst time of your life?
When my son was killed.
If you could relive any part of your life, what would it be?
Okay, then I would relive the time that my grandson came. That has been a wonderful experience for me, and every day was a wondrous thing. Every word he uttered, every movement he made, I thought he was just the most wonderful child, a genius.
How do you feel about death? And how would you want people to remember you?
I say that I'm not afraid of death, but maybe I am a little. I don't think so. I've thought about it, and I've thought, well, you know, I've had a good life. Overall, I've had a good life, and I can say to you honestly that I don't think I'm afraid of death. I did have one experience when my first child was born, where I was close to death.
Sorry.
And at that time, when I heard the nurses say, "Oh my God, she's going to die," I thought to myself, well, then that's the way it's going to be. So I suppose I judge my feelings on that. If I wasn't scared at 20, maybe I won't be scared at any other time.
Right. Glad to hear you pulled through that.
Hmm?
Glad to hear you pulled through that.
Oh, thank you.
And how would you want people to remember you?
I suppose I would like them to remember me as a fun person and an interesting person.
Well, from the short time today, I think that sort of fits the bill.
The ideas of Goodall are confirmed by the participants and Avril's responses, which mention old people as cranky, senile, and slow, or active respectively. This is directly comparable to Goodall's theories of the way we interpret the elderly and how they interpret themselves. Misconceptions about aging arise from society's prototypes of old, cranky, ill-tempered elders. Numerous movies emphasize the negative characteristics of old people, leading young people to construct a stereotypical perspective of the older generation.
Misconceptions are often formed when we are young, before meaningful relationships can take hold. We also tend to assume that elderly people are slow and sensitive. This makes us think that we have to speak slowly when talking to them, while avoiding any sensitive material as to ensure they don't overreact. We can alter these misconceptions by meeting and making more connections with old people, by volunteering at a retirement home. While these connections are certainly possible avenues, they are not always effective. Change in social media, non-comedically, is likely the best way to alter these misconceptions.
The last stage of the Eric Erikson curve does so true for Avril. She was proud of the events she had completed and overcome, the good and the bad equally. She portrayed herself in the interview and later conversation as very knowledgeable and insightful. She rarely focused on failures or things of despair other than her son's death, which she overcame. Overall, she held herself with confidence and integrity, using the insight to place judgments on other aspects of life contently.